Hi, I'm Olga S. Pérez, coming at you live, unleashing the power of perspective, one reaction at a time. I've been a life strategist for over 20 years, and I'm here to share my insights on trending topics, current news, and music videos that we all want to talk about with love and humor. Welcome back to the Olga S. Pérez Show. I'm your host, Olga. How you doing? How's everybody doing? What's it like in your part of the world? Make sure to comment. You know your comments are my fuel. I do read them and I will respond, whether it's in the live chat or afterwards. Both would be great, right? Anyway, I got a surprise for you guys. Yeah. I like surprises, so I have a guest coming on, and I can't wait till you meet her. Love her. She'll tell you all about herself in a second. I just want to make sure. Are you guys ready? You know, I like me some suspense. All right. Okay. Please welcome my special guest, Courtney Brooke.
Hello.
Hi.
We also have a special guest, Cricket.
Oh, Cricket. Oh, sweet.
She's
I'm so glad.
Feeling a little clingy right now. The dogs like to come and do a little dog parades every once in a while, so we might have a few other surprise guests.
I would love that. I would love that. I'm sure my guests will too. Who doesn't? So
I know.
Courtney, so what do you do? Tell everyone. Who are you?
I mean, it's funny. I have basically I have terrible ADHD, right? So it's hard to even explain what it is that I do. I kind of started off as a bit of a chat rat, if you will, with a special group of people, Chrissy Mayer, Keanu Thompson, and people in that circle, and was very much encouraged to do my own streaming as well, and never really had a plan with it. We've been over on my channel, we've been reading Ted Kaczynski's manifesto. We have been doing karaoke. We watch body cam videos. There's hula hooping. There's like jack of all trades. You name it, we'll give it a shot. That's kind of the theme of what I like to do, is just wherever our streams take us.
Wonderful. So yeah, guys, if you didn't know, I met Courtney. Why would I call you Brooke?
You know what? That was actually, my name was Brooke when I was born. I think that might be something that you've kind of picked up on, because I wasn't Courtney until like I was about 2.
You're a Virgo, right?
Yep.
I remember that. I love my Virgos. I mean, I swear they're all the interns, anybody I've ever worked with, Virgos. Like, they got my back. They're just awesome. I don't know. They get me in a way that no one else does. And they're just so trustworthy. And hold on. I just said that, right? And maybe in the future, you fuck me over and then.
You never know. I mean, because the rest of the chart could tell a whole new story.
That's true. Do you know your ascendant or moon? Do you know your chart?
Yeah, I'm a Virgo sun, Gemini moon, and Scorpio rising.
I just spent some time in Florida with a woman who was Aries, Scorpio ascendant, and Gemini moon.
Whoa.
It's different, right?
That is like spicy.
Yo, you nailed it. You nailed it. Oh my God. Like, I had to be quiet. Okay, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny because I always joke, like, man, if it wasn't for my Gemini moon, I would just be like this, like, ultra sex goddess, like, oh, but then my Gemini moon is just like this thought,
Yes.
and I turn out just being like derp, 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 derp.
Yeah. No, it's funny because I do love talking to Gemini moons. I dated a guy with a Gemini moon, and that was one of the things I loved the most. He was like, he had that ADHD kind of, not kind of, he does actually.
Yeah, because like with Gemini's, Gemini placements, it's the overactive brain that really gets the ADHD, and then there's Sagittarius placements it's the curiosity. I want to try this, and I want to try this, and I want to try this. All that exploration, which is funny because I have Sagittarius in my first house.
That was going to be my next question. I'm like, do you know where your Sag is at?
I've studied my chart quite a bit. I got to a point too where I was starting to get really good at guessing people's rising signs. Like I was like, "There's David Bowie's a Capricorn. That's crazy. He has to be an Aquarius rising. He has to be." Wouldn't you know it? I mean, I haven't been in that much practice recently, but yeah, no, I was really fascinated with my chart for a while there because it just was.
It's fascinating.
It's really interesting. I mean, whether
Yeah.
or not you're, a huge astrology fan or if you believe it or not, it can just be really interesting to see just what what it all means essentially. Like it's very interesting.
So get this. Not to interrupt you, but I'm looking at the chat because first I wanted to ask, how's the audio, everyone? How's the audio? Because sometimes with the StreamYard, there'll be like this echo. I don't hear it. Do you hear it?
I do not hear it.
I clicked on when I go on Chrissy Mayer's show, it always happens. And I forget to click there's this option to echo cancellation. And so if I'm by myself and I have that clicked, then people can't hear the audio and videos I share. So, but when I have a guest or I'm a guest on somebody's show, I have to click on echo cancellation.
Oh, but well, let me just double check and make sure that
On my end,
okay.
I did click the
Okay.
echo cancellation. But if
I
we share a
clicked it.
video, which I don't have plans, but so apparently there is a Chris Thompson here. I thought
Chris Thompson.
You know him? Yeah, because then he goes, anyway, don't mind me. I'm just here to stalk Courtney. Ah, how cute is that? Did he know that you were here?
Oh yeah, so we love Chris Thompson. He's basically like my right hand man. He's one of my managing mods on my streams. He's a big he's one of our chat rats also with on Keanu Thompson streams as well as Chrissy Mayer's, and so he's one of us.
Yeah. I'm her emotional. I love it. I'm her emotional support tard. I love that.
I know. We like to make jokes about my mental disability because I'm like, yeah, I have major ADHD. I have it more than I tested in the 99th percentile of women my age with ADHD, but it's considered a mental disability. And I'm like,
I don't think so.
What? Right. I'm like, no, I just don't fit in with like, admin jobs make me miserable. Things of that nature, but that doesn't mean that I'm disabled. It just means I feel like they're disabled. You're
They
disabled.
can't keep up with you.
Yeah, I'm like, if you want to sit here at a desk all day and do boring stuff, I feel like you're the one who has a mental disability, not me.
I agree.
So we just make jokes about it. I'm like, I am disabled. Okay. So you're discriminating against me if you don't push my videos through the algorithm, YouTube or
That's true. And I'm shadow banned. So I'm like, anyway, guys, what is your handle? So my audience can follow you.
At was that Courtney. That's pretty much any social media, Twitter and YouTube is usually what I use the most, but there's even Instagram there. At was that Courtney. Trying to remember if there's anything else, but you know what? If you're on a social media platform, just search at was that Courtney. And then if I'm there, I'm there. If I'm not, then I'm sorry. Tell me to use it later, I guess. I don't know.
That's so cool. What did you do before all this?
I was just kind of a normie nobody. I tried admin jobs and things of that nature. I was a makeup artist for about like 5-ish years. I worked a couple of sales jobs. I just kind of milled about. It's so funny too, because I almost never used the internet in general. Like I didn't even know what a super chat was until like 2021, 2022. Like I didn't even know that people watched live streams. It just so happened that I watched a court trial. I was very fascinated with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. And then of course, like that's actually how I found Chrissy Mayers, because then I was wanting to watch interviews with him, and she just so happened to be on a show that he was a guest on like a few weeks prior. So I ended up liking the show, and so I continued watching. She was a guest. I was like, I really like her, and the rest is history. But yeah, that was just kind of like I didn't even know that there was a chance to be in entertainment.
So did you reach out to her to have you on the show? Like, how did you?
No, it's such a funny story. So I got a gifted membership on one of her live streams. So I was watching the members only live, and I commented on something that she said, and she went, "Whoa, when was the last time we had a hot chick in the chat?" And I was like, "That's me. I'm me? What?" Because, like, again, I wasn't really like much of an internet user before that, and like I live in a small town where, like, to me, I mean, yeah, I get approached quite a bit when I leave the house. I always make jokes. I'm like, I can't even leave the house without getting 10 dates. Come on. But I just thought that was like kind of just the small town thing. I didn't think that like people on the internet would actually think that I was a hot chick. So I was like, whoa. Well, wouldn't you know it, right after that, a bunch of beautiful women started joining her chat. So you're welcome. But the people that were in the chat at the time were like, oh, they of course they noticed me and welcomed me with open arms, and I became kind of buddies with them. And so after being a bit of a regular for a while, what happened? Oh, Keanu ended up, I mean, we don't really want to mention the gentleman who was acting as a producer, but he essentially suggested that I come on as like a surprise guest. And, again, with Keanu, same thing. She and I were pretty friendly. Like, she noticed a lot of those things in the chat that I was saying and whatever. So when I was a surprise guest, Chrissy was watching, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy. I feel like, what was it? It was something like, I feel like people are finally going to believe me about my Canadian girlfriend," or something like that. It was like some joke about,
Are you Canadian?
essentially, no, but it was kind of like, "Oh, I have a girlfriend. Oh, really? Like, what's her name? Where is she? Oh, she lives in Canada. You wouldn't know her," like something like that. Or like when people are in high school and they're like, "Oh, I have a girlfriend." "You do? Who is it?" "No, you wouldn't know who it is. She goes to a different school." Like that kind of thing. Like, she was essentially joking that people didn't think that I was real, but like I was like her friend, and people didn't think I was a real friend of hers or whatever. Like, I wasn't a real person. She phrased it way better than what I can remember it right now, but it was very funny. And so then after that, um, kind of joining here and there, they invited me. Frank reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to be on Nightlife with them on their Thursday night streams. And we had so much fun. So then after that, like, anytime somebody bailed at the last second, she'd be sending me a link like, "Hey, if you want to join, like, come on down." And yeah, so I've just been kind of just sort of snowballed into something. Now I'm like, "Give me the link anytime." I will live on your stream.
That's awesome. You do very well. I think obviously great energy. You're funny. You look great. I mean, what is there not to like about you?
Oh,
Not to sound like a fucking groupie. I think I saw your first live, or maybe it was the second one, and Keanu was in the live. Remember? And I said hi, and you noticed us.
Oh, yes. I know. Now I'm trying to remember if that was because the first one I did was my birthday stream. And so I think maybe it was the birthday one, because it was very early on.
It was very early on, yeah.
And it was right after the Simpcast that we did together. And I think that was, gosh, now I'm trying to piece everything together, because I think I do think that we were on Simpcast together, and then I did my birthday stream. Man, dang it. You know what? I don't know. But I do remember when you popped up in the chat.
Yeah, but you've been doing nonstop. Like, if you didn't go on so late, you would see me in the chat more often. Not that you go on late, sorry, because remember, you're on the West Coast. So
Yeah.
and I'm in bed by 9.
Girl, I feel it. I know. Well, that's another thing too, is I wanted to kind of do more regular hour streams, but I was like, dang it, I'm gonna miss all of my favorite streams if I stream at the same time. And so like doing daytime ones was kind of fun, but I've noticed that a lot more people actually start to join later, because they're already awake and watching their friends, or they're the streams that they like to watch, and then they're kind of awake and wired, and they're like, "Oh, what do we do now?" And so then they're like, "Oh, well, here's another live stream we can watch." And I'm the only one around. So I'm like, okay, well, this is going to really destroy my sleep schedule that I've been working so hard on, but what are you going to
do? So where are you from originally?
From Washington State.
Oh, so West Coast.
Yep. Yeah, West Coast. I know I was joking last night that I live in the Space Needle. So I
What does that mean? I don't know.
I don't know what it means, to be honest. It's just it's partially just to, not say exactly where I live, and just kind of, yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm in Washington State. Um whatever city you wish for me to be in the Space Needle or something. I don't know.
So, not to get political,
Hmm.
how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the current uh atmosphere of the politics in the US? What do you think?
I'm heartbroken for America because this country, what it's rooted in is really starting to disappear. I really don't like that there are American citizens that want us to mirror other countries when the whole point of America starting was to break away from that government and have our own autonomy. And
Yes.
it's like, to me, I know that this sounds a little bit heartless, but like for me, if you think that if your beliefs are rooted somewhere else, if you think that it should behave this way like another country, perhaps that's the country you need to be living in. To me, I'm like, I want to stay here and fight for my country. If it comes down to it and I have to get a
Yeah.
tank and a cannon and fight off those redcoats, I'm going to have to do it. I honestly, I get a little excited when I think about that. I'm like, okay, I think it's going to be like $300,000 or so. But if we start a GoFundMe, I think I can get a tank and I can fight the redcoats. But I mean, I honestly, like, I would much rather be on the front lines and fighting for this country and what it believes in than to leave. But then there's another part of me that's like, what countries out there stand for what I believe in now? What I believe America should be? Poland kind of seems to be going in that direction.
Yep.
Javier Milei, out in Argentina, he seems to be, man, and he is. Have you seen him when he met Donald Trump? He was fangirling so hard over him.
He was.
You would have thought, like, I met Justin Timberlake when I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my God. Like, and I thought that was actually really, like, it was really cute to me. I'm like, oh, that's
Endearing. It was a little
beautiful.
endearing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, to me, I think if Donald Trump had never run for president ever, it would always just be dictator versus dictator. I don't think that, like, the Republican Party is the way to go. I don't think there's really any party that is the way to go. I just think that somebody who was not a career politician, who wants America to be what it was meant to be, decided to run on the Republican ticket. And so because of this, appears to be a little bit more promising. He's not like a regular old person, though. Like, we do have to remember, like, he's lived a much different life than somebody like myself.
Right.
So I can't really, like, put all my faith into him actually wanting my life to be what it was meant to be by living in this country, right? But like, I feel like he has much more of an idea of uh, what would be a better option for me, I guess you could say, or a regular person, than our Barack Obamas and our Bidens and our Bushes. I know I like to ironically say that I like George Bush because it is funny to watch him give speeches. But, like, let's be real. He did some of the worst damage to this country that I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And Barack Obama just took all of that and made it even worse. So,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I feel like they were basically the same president. Like, Patriot Act.
They're all together. I had this vision
Yeah.
back in right when 9/11. I've been saying it before, but right after 9/11, I remember having a vision that they were buddies with Obama. I mean, not Obama, sorry, Bin Laden. And I remember telling my friends, I see them in a tunnel, and I see them like high-fiving and like shaking their hands, like, yo, and obviously everyone's like, are you crazy? And I get it. But I've always been known to see shit that nobody sees until maybe later on. But I have a track record that my shit's never wrong. Like, I'm not right. I'm just a messenger. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know shit. I don't proclaim to know anything, but what I see, and I believe in what I see. And then with Obama, I was like, I'm telling you, these guys, they're all together. And Trump, funny because although he's been up there, right, as far as like influencer, right, somebody with money, New York, whatever, before becoming a president, I just thought I have a sense with this guy, and no matter what bad light you want to put him in, because I'm into astrology, I'm like looking at his chart. I'm like, he's an actor, like a good actor. He's a Leo ascendant, a Leo Gemini moon. Gemini sun. And so I could see that duality, and I could see that, he could flip a switch and change his mind, right? With the Gemini sun, but that Leo ascendant. And where the placements are, it's like this guy, deep, deep down, he's got a good heart. No matter if you don't like what he says or how he says it, and if he sticks his foot in his mouth, which is a Gemini thing to do as well. But then I'm like, all right, at the end of the day, it's so easy to be bought and sold, or who you're shaking hands with. Because remember, there was tons of video. I mean, there's tons of like when he was on The View and they're praising him, like before he was president, right? Like all the things where they're praising him, and then all of a sudden he's this fucking boogeyman. And I'm like, I never listen to people. I always follow my instinct. But to get to this nutshell of no matter what his influence is, or he's got this theatrical part of about him, or again, influencer, like a celebrity in a sense. But I'm like, there's a reason. There's a reason for this guy. I know fate. I believe in fate. You can't believe in astrology and not fucking believe in fate. They don't work together. You can't even be political with astrology. You have to fucking see it for what it is. And so it's funny because deep down, I feel like he does believe in freedom, like legit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if you believe or agree with all his policies, or if you don't like his delivery or the way he looks, whatever the issue is. And there's a Spanish saying that says you can shit on gold, but when you shit on gold, the gold will still shine through. You get what I'm saying? So if you're not worthy, if you're not anything of quality, you know what I mean? The shit will cover you because you're shit to begin with. So the only thing is going to, I know it's kind of hard to translate in English, but you get what I'm saying? So it's like, dude, it's so funny because the more they fucking attack him, in a sense, the more likable he is. Or go ahead.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is like I was one of the people who was pretty guilty of the Trump derangement syndrome for a brief moment there. Like I remember his public persona where he was a bit of a sassy man, right? He was very much he didn't have much of a filter, and he was a jerk when he wanted to be, right? And I remember his feud with Rosie O'Donnell. But I also enjoyed watching The Apprentice. I thought that it was a great show. I thought he was actually very interesting on it. And I just had this idea in my mind that, and I think maybe I was a little bit brainwashed by media or politicians or whatever, but I had this idea in my mind that somebody who wasn't in politics didn't know what they were doing as a president, and that would just be embarrassing if we had somebody who was on TV as our president. And so we shouldn't have that. Like that was kind of that's where it started, where I was like, no, I just feel like it's going to look bad for our country.
Yeah.
And then, I was, that was however long ago now.
Almost 10 years ago.
Right. And so, granted, I was still like old enough to understand because I'm 39 now. So here I was, 28, 29. I should have had a better idea, but I didn't. And so then, already kind of leaning on the side of like, I don't think that's a good idea. I definitely was consuming a lot of media told me that Donald Trump was a bad guy. And every time though that people were like, oh, he's racist, he said this thing. Oh, he was, the bleach one. He told us to inject bleach. No, he didn't. He didn't. No, he didn't. That was a big one that got me. But anytime I would go and try and look up what it was that he said that was so terrible. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how did you interpret that? And then of course I'm like, he is really funny. And so like, I really softened my heart towards him over time because I'm told that he's terrible. So if I'm going to lash out and be like, this person's a piece of garbage, I am not going to embarrass myself and be proven wrong.
That's me.
So Like, no,
Yeah,
if I'm gonna be having an outburst over someone or something, you better believe I'm gonna have all the information that I need to back myself up. Because if I'm gonna make myself look a bit unstable, it's going to be rooted in truth, at least.
exactly. And I went through this similar process in 2020 when we're all in the lockdown with the pandemic. And I remember having to literally pay attention, listen, like, and get more involved into the politics because it was affecting my livelihood. Okay. They shut me
Yeah.
down. They shut my business down. They shut everything down. And I'm like, but again, as a clairvoyant, I knew it was going to happen. I would tell my friends. I was telling them for a decade. And when it happened, they all called and said, you fucking said it. Because I specifically said how. I said around 2020, if not for sure 2020. And so they all of a sudden were starting to pay attention. But either way, like a lot of us, we've experienced, whether it's family members or friends or colleagues, that, if you didn't wear the mask and you didn't do all that. And I'm like, I haven't changed. I'm still the freedom person. Plus, how can I be a life coach, in quote, like I'm a life strategist, but aka known as life coach? How can I be that? How can I empower people and tell them to be free and stand up for themselves and to tell them they can do whatever they want or they can, fight for it? And like the confidence comes from within and love comes from within, all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to be a sheeple and I'm like, I'd rather die. I'd rather die standing up than laying down. Like I've always
Yeah.
believed. And so, yeah, like,
Yeah, that I mean, like, it's just, and that's another thing too, is like the whole shift in everything has been really mind blowing for me because I felt like I was a liberal for a while because I just felt like, dude, just let us do what we want to do,
me
like,
too.
and with that seemed to be the liberal policy for a while there. Like, hey, we don't
Hmm.
like war, and just let's stop putting laws against people doing whatever the hell it is that they want to do. Let's lift whatever these laws are, or create a law that just allows us to do what we want to do. And that's always been my thing. Hey, if you are an adult that can make your own decisions, you're not hurting kids, you're not hurting animals, and whoever's involved is just a consenting adult, do whatever. I don't care. I don't even care about like polyamorous marriages. It's not whatever, dude. All marriage is a piece of paper that's signed off by the government. What we're considering marriage is not what's found in the Bible. It's just the government allowing it to happen, right? Like, so, and if a religious leader of sorts, a priest, a pastor, if they say, "Hey, I don't feel comfortable with marrying this union because it's against our beliefs," who cares? No, you can't take them to court because they have the right to say, "No, I'm not comfortable with that." The stupid cake thing too. If somebody is not comfortable baking a freaking cake for your wedding, who cares? Because somebody out there will want to do it.
That's right.
There are businesses out there that want money.
That's right.
So give those people your money, not don't take these other people to court over it. Who cares? Who cares? We don't like you. We're just going to tell people not to go to you because you don't like us. Fine.
Hello, just happened with McDonald's. Did you see about that? Did you hear about that? About how people went on Yelp and started trashing the McDonald's that Trump went to? Did you
Oh
see
my
that?
gosh,
And so
no.
Yelp had to disable that option because it was going nuts. Like 1 star, like horrible.
I'm surprised that Yelp has been like properly functioning over the years because after
True.
reality TV shows have been going to restaurants and stuff where you have like kitchen nightmares and shows of that nature where people watch, and oftentimes what'll happen is people will watch and then they go and leave reviews. I remember there was one where Yelp had to jump in and start deleting reviews for this particular restaurant because the majority of the reviews were, "Oh, I haven't been here before, but I saw the episode that they were on, and this looks like it's a bad restaurant," or whatever, right? And so I'm surprised that review sites have been able to stand the test of time after reality TV shows have been exposing so many restaurants.
Well said. I didn't think about that because my business, I initially had made sure that my clients, would leave a review because Yelp was, 10 years, 15 years ago, a place that people trusted. But I remember when I got one review where the person, I've never met them, they never reached out to me. So again, so anybody can just say whatever the fuck and they don't take it down. It's like, no, dude, you got to have something on this. So it took me about a year of constantly emailing them. That also happened in Google review. And I'm like, who is this person? First of all, is it a real person? Is it a bot? They never called me. They don't even have a real name here. And you're going to put it up there and it messed up my 5-star review. And I'm not saying somebody can't complain, but may it be legit.
Exactly. Yeah. Just let it be legit.
But so, yeah. And so I stopped using Yelp, period. And I wouldn't even advise, or just some reviews, they just posted on their own will, but others, because I was starting new 15 years ago. So I was just like, hey, it would be great if you, because they were like, oh, you're awesome. This, and I'm like, look, it'd be awesome if you did that. Like, write whatever you want. Like, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Tell the truth, because I just want people that are looking for someone like me to find me. You know what I mean? Because I'm not for everybody. I'm very honest. I'm abrasive. Most people cry. Actually, I think pretty much everyone cries at the first meeting with me. Because, breaking down the truth, the truth hurts, even if you didn't do anything bad. And when somebody tells you and you don't even know them, and if they fucking see you like deeply and you're like, what the fuck? I know I cry all the time. I cry about everything, a commercial. It could be anything. Like I easily cry, but like when I make somebody cry, it's because I'm connecting in a deep way. It's not like I'm insulting them.
I'm telling you, there's a girl that I would see for, I still like to go see her for Reiki. And she has these really cool Reiki sessions where your spirit guides come and start bringing all sorts of different messages and stuff. And so like, as she's going through each chakra, there will be like a different message. And there were a lot of times that stuff would come through and I'd be like, oh, sure. And in the back of my head, I'm like, this doesn't resonate at all. Like, but I was just rejecting it. Right. And so I'd be like, I don't understand why she's telling me this. I don't get. And then like a week later, I'm like, boom, like slapped in the face. I'm like, oh, okay. That makes sense that she said that after all. Right. And so like, I mean, I get it where people like, they want to have an emotional reaction because they're like, no, you're wrong. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. And it's like, you have to eventually.
I mean,
So,
especially if you're coming for help, right? You're coming for guidance or again, insight. At the end of the day, I'm not your counselor. I'm not your therapist. Like, in fact, if they sign up to have 3 months with me, 6 months, like to get to their goal, whether it's emotional or whether it's to get a job or something, whatever they want to accomplish, or again, say they have insecurities or, they lack confidence and they want more confidence. Right. So after the first session, I go, you got to sign this to make it clear. I'm not your therapist. You know what I mean? Like it's on your own validity. I can just shine the light, because there's a famous, not famous, but anyway, a known quote from Galileo, which I don't know how you say it in English. Galilei? Galileo?
yeah, I think that, I mean, I feel like you're saying it pretty much because I think we all just say Leo, like,
yeah. And he says, you can never teach anybody anything. You can only help them see it.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly how he said it, but you get the point. And so I'm like, yeah, that's true. I know this for myself. So I don't preach. I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, not everybody's ready. Even when they're like, no, I'm ready. I'm like, I don't think you are. Like, I'm motivated. I'm like, But then if I got to call you every day to be like, did you do that? Did you do this? Do that? And you're like, nah, I'm going to get to it. It's like, see, you're not hungry enough.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and like if you're ignoring all the things that, I get it, you want things to change or you want things to progress or whatever, but like you're missing the key point in, I have to face the music. I have to look at the hard parts. Cause like, yeah, I mean, I've been there trying to make sense of crappy situations, and then finally being like, oh, I have to recognize the dumb shit that I did in this scenario.
Yeah. Same here, man. I have seen the ugly sides of me years ago. And that's why people started coming to me for advice, because they saw such a change in me. They're like, how did you do this? And I was broke, so I couldn't pay for help. And so I would just, sit at like Barnes and Nobles or like bookbinders back in was not bookbinders. Borders.
There was Borders. Yeah, Borders.
Yeah.
I remember Borders.
And I'm just sitting there like I couldn't even afford a book. And I would just sit there on the floor and just read like the whole self-help section. I got it. And it wasn't because I was reading it because I just thought reading was going to help me. No, I wanted the fucking answers. I'm like, how did I get here? Right? How did I get here? And how do I get out of it, even in my head? Because I'm depressed. I feel horrible. I'm crying all the time, and not like crying now where I'm like sensitive. And so, like I said, if I hear a commercial that's emotional, like a puppy or something, I'm like, ah! You know what I mean? So different. Back then, it was like the whole feeling sorry for yourself, right? That whole fucking woo is me, and I'm the victim and all that shit. And I was just like, but it's not like me to be like this. But I became that. And then I'm like, well, how did I get there? So I had to, backtrack. And then I'm like, well, who was I when I was 8? Because then you're like, well, who is the real me?
Yeah.
You're like, you think you are, but you're like, but my 8-year-old wouldn't have done what my 25, 20, 30-year-old did. You know what I mean? So then I'm like, fuck. That's because you thought you had to be a bitch to be strong. But one thing is to be a bitch where you're just like, you got to prove it to me. You got to do this for me and that for me. Like, I wasn't mean. I thought I was being strong. I thought I was being protective. And then when I hurt the people that I loved, and they're like, fuck you, we're done with you.
Yeah.
Trust me. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not a bad person. And so I had to go through that, like basically backtracking. And then people saw the change in me. And and I told them, like, number one, you got to get rid of your ego, man. You got to get rid of like when they say constructive criticism. But the problem also too is because I'd lost everything at that time. And obviously, because I lost everything, I also lost my mind in a sense.
Yep.
And
yeah, been there.
So, hello. And so, that's usually the Saturn retrograde between like the ages of 29, 32. And that's when it happened to me. But the point is, I don't know, I could fucking give you 50 points. But where was I? What was I going with this? So again, the ego. And then when you say that, most people, and I mean most people, like 99.9% of people, they react. When you say the word ego, they're like, I ain't got no ego. Like, that's literally what I get every single time. I'm like, there you go. That right there is ego. Like, you're like,
yeah.
Oh, not me. It's like
the biggest thing when it comes to like breakups, or even like if you have a situationship and it splits up, like gauging how hurt you are from that. That's a sign of your ego, because you take what, like, why is it that I'm hurting from this? And when it comes down to, oh, it was because I was rejected, that is your ego. And that was when I realized that in my own situation, that is actually what really helped me recognize where my ego was getting in the way in other things. Because ego isn't just, oh, I'm full of myself, right? It's really just like, I don't even know how to explain it really, but it's essentially how, if you feel like you've been done wrong in a situation where if somebody else was experiencing that, you could go like, it's okay, cry it out and let's move on. It's an ego thing, right? Like, oh, I got turned down for this job interview. I'm so upset. Did you even want the job? Well, not really. Okay, then why do you care? Because your ego, you're upset that you were rejected. You're not upset that you didn't get the job that you wanted, because you didn't even want it.
Okay.
It's
speaking of which, you did a show for a bit. I don't know if you're still doing it, because I haven't seen the pop up like on X. I think it was with Keanu, and it was dating Courtney or something about. Tell me about that, because I want the audience to know, because I don't know, A, if you're still doing it, B, are you single? Like, what's going on?
So that was really, oh my gosh, it's actually really cute. There were people who were like fans of Keanu's show, who were well aware of who I was, because I often was either on the show or in the chat and what have you. And they would be like, hey, we should do a dating show for Courtney. And I thought, I mean, I don't even know what that would even look like, or how it would end or what, but let's give the people what they want. I don't care. Like, I'm going to be watching anyway. I might as well be on the show. And so the first round, it was, it was very funny, because none of us had any idea what to expect at all. Like Keanu and Michaeline and myself were like, we haven't done this before, so we don't really know. Let's just here we
Go
go.
with it.
And then of course the guests, the contestants, we hadn't done a show before, so they hadn't watched anything to know what we were going to be doing. So it was just kind of a crash course in dating shows for us all. And I guess more people were still requesting to have a dating show. And so I was like, yeah, we can do another one. I mean, whatever. I'll be here. That's fine. And then of course, since then, Keanu has gotten married. And so, it's kind of just let her finish
Yeah, that was
finish the
beautiful.
wedding. Yeah, I know. She looked
So
amazing.
did you date anybody? Did you get a date?
Well, I mean, we picked winners, but I mean, for me, I'm like, I was like, I don't know how this is supposed to go. I have like issues with object permanence. So if you're not in the same state as me, I'm gonna like forget to like respond to you sometimes, I think. And like I was just like,
Yeah, I don't
I
do
don't
long
know.
distance.
I know. I'm like, dude, yeah, my sister probably thinks I'm dead right now because it's been like a year and a half since I responded to one of her texts. So I mean, granted, since then she ended up like visiting, so I saw her, but it had to be like essentially coordinated between through my brother because I'm just like, I'm sorry, I just forget that my phone exists, I think, or something. I don't know, like.
I do too. Unless it's business, I'm really not on it.
I know. Well, I'm like, I just get caught up in like, okay, what do I tell this person? How do I say this? I don't even know. Okay, I'm gonna have to get back to this later because I don't know what's going on. And then the next thing you know, I completely forget to get back to it because there was something else showed up on my phone and I got to that instead or something. I don't know. Like it's a snowball of situations.
So you're not
So
dating.
I'm like,
are you dating?
I mean, I'm single.
You're
the way that I
available.
look at it.
You're available. I don't like
Yeah,
single because it's like I'm alone. No, I'm not fucking alone. I'm available. Okay, I'm on the market.
I'm on the market. I know. Well, here's the thing, because just because I'm alone does not mean that I'm lonely. I enjoy like my alone time almost too much. It's like very addicting. Like once you get comfortable with it, it's like, please, why would I bother with this right now when I can be just comfortable and cozy? But like, I'm aware of the benefits of human interaction, and I do feel like perhaps somebody does need to coerce me out of my cave every once in a while.
Do you know where your Mars is at on your chart? Because
I
that's where
have
your ideal man would be that.
Mars in
Well, that's
Leo.
assuming you're straight.
Yes, I am straight. I've got Mars in Leo in my 9th house, and I actually have Venus in Leo in my 8th house. So
it should be through work and a Leo man. That would be like the top, like the fated one is a Leo. And not necessarily Leo sun, he could be a Leo ascendant, but definitely not a Leo moon. It has to be Leo, mostly sun or Leo ascendant would be great for you. And the 9th house is part of its career. And networking and social and communications. So you might meet the guy here. Not necessarily on my channel, but you never know. You never know. But anyway, guys, FYI, don't be creepers. But she's on the West Coast. You don't do long distance. Right? We just put it out there.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm open to whatever like type of situation might happen if it's the right one. Like I feel like if my socks are really knocked off, I would probably end up putting a lot more energy.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But it's not like he's cute. We get along. This is cool. Like, no, it's like a holy smokes. I think I just got hit in the face with a brick. Where did this person come from? That
would be a Leo too. Leo would do that. Oh yeah, a Leo they like to please. They like to please, and they like a queen. They want a queen next to them. You're in my opinion, you're queen quality. Okay, not everybody's a queen. Okay, so princess says you're a queen. But real quick, I didn't. Thank you for the super chat, Chris.
Yay!
Very nice to meet everyone. Very nice to meet you as well, Chris. Do you know him in person? I'm assuming it's a he.
We haven't met in person, but I mean, we talk like all the time.
That's awesome. So,
he's the homie.
Welcome. So, Rocco, welcome. I mean, Chris, obviously, welcome. Who else? Rowdy Wood, welcome. Great to see
Ooh.
everyone. Who else is in here? What's up? I wonder what's today? Wednesday? I didn't know. I don't usually do lives on Wednesday. I do it on Friday.
Oh.
And but I've been away for a week. I went to Florida. It was a last minute thing. A friend of mine's like, I got a house down there. I got to do some maintenance. Do you want to come with me for the ride?
Sure.
I don't regret it, but let me tell you something.
I don't regret it, but I might regret it.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm gonna go to the beach and I'm gonna relax and I'm gonna decompress. The weather wasn't good. The weather was great the first day, and then it got windy and cold. And I'm like, and I come back to Philly and it's warm. It's 80 right now. Matter of fact, let me check. Oh, it's 76 right now, but they said the high is going to be 80. But anyway, it felt warmer here. And I'm like, although while I was in Florida, my friends here were texting me, yo, you went on the good week because it like we didn't even have fall, just went straight to like the 40s and it was cold. Anyway, what else? Well, I was going to share something that I guess an audience member had shared with me. Eric Spiro, welcome. Wow. Isn't that funny? I guess I wonder when you texted this. He's like, wow, I just logged in and a Trump ad was the forerunner. Yeah, so you and I were talking about the Trumpster. You know, it's funny. I went from, so my friends during 2020 just automatically started, and I'm telling like most of them, that was crazy. Like, you know, you're going to maybe lose some friends or, you know, life, right? Not everybody's like a character doesn't go, some characters don't go from every chapter, right? Or to the end of the journey. Yeah. So I expected that, but like legit, I'm like all alone. I'm like, everyone started calling, not everyone, but some friends were like, stop being a Trumpster, but I want to wear a mask. And I go, what? Like, what? First of all, I'm my greatest fan. And the only other person would be God. You get what I'm saying? Or Jesus Christ. And I'm not Bible thumping here or anything. But my point is, like, I can appreciate him. I can, everything we already discussed. But a Trumpster? Like, no. Like, what the fuck? And then like a couple months later, I had to say, but it was the same person that called me a racist. I'm like, racist for what? I was having a problem with a person that was of color. And they're like, and they know me. Like, I've dated people of color. I have friends that are of color. I know white people apparently, right? Apparently. Now I'm Spanish, right? And then you can look at me and say, she's white. It's like, there's white people in Spain, motherfuckers. You know, Italy, like, you know, whatever. But it's so bizarre that people would just trigger. It's like a trigger reaction. And I'm like, can you break it down for me again? How am I racist? Well, I bet you if she was white, you wouldn't. I'm like, is she not fucked up and doing some fucked up shit to me or not? Like, can we just look at the facts? And mind you, this person, I can't. If I say too much, you're going to be like, she's talking about me. I don't even know if she watches my show. But like, seriously, like the damage that people can do because they're triggered, right? Or they think they're on the right team. Because that's the thing. She felt empowered. Like, and mind you, this individual was a Republican, registered Republican. But all of a sudden, she felt that if she had voted for Trump, that she thought that the riots would be worse. So she really thought by not voting for Trump, which is fine. Like I remember talking to her on the phone. I'm like, you do you, like whatever your reasons are. You know how they say, you know, be careful. Like you don't want to be in the wrong side of history. But it's so funny how I just don't like being labeled. Never have. I'm like, why are you?
Yeah. Well, especially over something where it's like, I'm setting boundaries here over a behavior towards me. I don't care about this person's skin color in this moment. I'm setting a boundary. And now you're telling me that I don't deserve to be respected because of a person's skin color. Like what?
Because they were in the BLM train too. This individual in particular. It wasn't just one person, but this one in particular. And I remember saying, it's all lives matter. All. And she was like, you don't get it. You're missing the point. I'm like, what's the point again? No, I got the fucking point. And I remember when they first started popping up in Philly. And she was like, it's about the fact that, you know, because they get singled out or, you know, whatever the reasons. But I'm like, but that's the thing. When you say one group matters, you're excluding everybody else. So in essence, you're creating racism. What the fuck?
Right. Well, yeah, it's like, all the situations that were illuminated, oh, this is what cops do to black people. There was always a situation where the same thing happened to a white person as well. And somehow, even when it was shown to somebody's face, it was still ignored. Well, so, okay, but we have to take a step back and go, is this something that was that was okay at all? Is this something that like was going to happen to this person, whether like no matter what, because they were being violent or what have you? Or is this something that we need to look at and go, this should never happen at all? Irish Lives Matter.
Right.
You know what? I am Irish and I say yes. I want my reparations, but also, okay.
Get the shut up. And that's again, like if somebody came to me and is like, I want help. I have problems with this or whether my job or my career or my personal life, right? And they say some shit like that, like I want reparations. I'm like, where does empowerment, how can you be empowered? Because we, especially like that whole vibe, I think it died down a little bit, but maybe 4 or 5 years ago, like I think right before COVID, remember the girl boss thing was a thing, right?
Oh, yes.
And so I kept telling them, I'm like, as cute as it might sound and empowering as it is, it's not empowering because you're singling yourself out. So I've been doing this for years, even before my whole thing. And then as I came out of it, the one thing that never changed was that about if men and women are to get along, we can't have like the women here and men here, like, because men do this or women. No. We're both human. We both have needs. And communication, I majored in communications. Not that I'm an expert, but I literally majored in communication. So I'm like, if you don't listen, and the whole point of communication is when you, whatever I say to you, or whatever you say to me, we not just heard, we understood. We understood.
Mhm.
And if we don't, we have to continue to communicate until we understand. And I'm like, I already know that my partner, as a straight woman, but again, even if you're not straight, but your partner, whatever they are, whatever they do, whatever their likes and dislikes, you have to listen. You have to respect it. You have to, if you don't like it, then you leave. But at the end of the day, you have to communicate. You have to feel heard, understood, most importantly. But at the end of the day, this whole men and women, I'm like, that doesn't work. We must look at each other as equals, not like who's better, you know what I mean? Or who should make the money or who should do the dishes or now. You must look at each other as equals with the same respect and love. The more we go, because men do this, women do that. I'm like, do you see the fucking problem here?
Exactly. Here's the thing. The two things that are actually the most empowering, the only things that are empowering, meritocracy, autonomy. Okay? If you are good at what you do, if you are doing what you are meant to do and you are actively involved in it, all right? So I'm not trying to go to an Ivy League school and get some STEM degree, right? Because there's no way in hell that I'm going to ever be good at that at all. All right? I'm not going to be paying attention in class. But if I'm going to demand, no, I have to get into this school and I have to get all A's or else you're discriminating against me because I'm a woman. Now I'm going to be coasting through life and I have no autonomy because I am relying on somebody else to give me the validation or the what's the word, like the certifications or the whatever that I need to in order to get these jobs that I'm never going to be good at. And then I'm relying on some employer to give me the money that I think that I deserve for this job that I can't even do. There's no merit there. There's no autonomy. And so like the only way I'm going to be empowered is if I'm doing the things that I actually enjoy doing, that I'm going to be good at doing. And I'm recognized for the things that I can do. And when it comes to like autonomy, let's say like, oh, women do this, men do this, blah, 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 blah. No, empowerment right around in the house, cleaning up after yourself. Okay. Right there. Oh, You take off your shoes at the door, wipe the table after you eat, rinse your plate off and put it away. That's autonomy. You're doing it yourself. You're not relying on somebody else to do it for you. And it's the little tiny things. Like for me, I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. I'll vacuum and sweep and mop and blah, blah, blah. But if you're hanging out at my house, the least that you could do, if I feed you, is wipe the table when you're done, rinse your plate. Like, I don't mind doing the rest of it. I'll make you a big old meal. I'll make you a nice big Sunday breakfast. I'll make you one of my favorites is steak and baked potatoes, whatever. But if you're gonna go sit on the couch and watch TV and there's this huge disaster, I don't want to do that anymore, right? So you have your own empowerment, you have your own autonomy to do your fair share, which is very small, right? So, like, I mean, any of that, like meritocracy and autonomy can be in any situation in your life. All you have to do is look at it as, I'm not relying on somebody else to do this for me. I'm going to do it myself.
Which in turn, it actually makes people feel better, the confidence, the dignity, their self-integrity. Like at the end of the day, they feel empowered by doing exactly that. Then the next step is love. But here, I talk about this all the time because this is what I do. But like self-love, you know how they always say that. And also it sounds kind of corny, which I had an issue with that. I'm like, that's so fucking corny. But then when you realize what it really means, and then the thing is, how are you going to love somebody if you don't love yourself? You can't. But we hear this all the time, but then how do you do that, right? Like, how do you love yourself? Like you said earlier, like the boundaries. You're like, oh, just because you set boundaries doesn't make you a racist or any other fucking label, right? The boundaries, self-respect. So you do all that, right? But then if people don't know how to love. So when you're talking about like pick up after yourself or like, you know, the self-autonomy, like you said, and I'm not going to repeat what you said. You said it beautifully. I'm not going to mess it up. But if they love you too, if you love someone, you don't even like, you just automatically pick up. You automatically want to help. You get what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, if you don't love me, get out. I don't need somebody that likes me, that wants me. This is male or female. You know what I mean? Like friends or lovers or partners. It's like, you know, and you can't fake it. Like a lot of people are like, I like the way you make me feel. It's like, but you don't really like me.
Right. Just because you want to finger blast me doesn't mean that you love me.
Yeah. Yo.
There's
so I don't know. Go ahead.
What? Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was looking at the time and I didn't promise you, but I was like, hey, it shouldn't be more than an hour unless you want it to be more than an hour. So I don't want to take up more of your time.
I mean, whatever works. I've got plenty of time. It's early in the morning for me right now. I've got, I mean, the dogs are probably going to want to be walked at some point, but they can wait.
They'll be okay.
They'll
be okay.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys, everyone in the audience, whether you're watching, I forgot to say that earlier. I am live on Rumble, YouTube, and X. But make sure to smash that like button if you haven't already. What's going on? I can't see that. Oh, why is somebody? Oh, my doorbell's ringing. I think it's my Amazon. Oh my God, I don't want to say it now. I got me something. I finally was like, okay, I think I made enough money because I won't spend unless I make it. Like I don't put things on credit card. And so with this channel, I'm like, until I get a certain amount of money, YouTube got me all fucked up. They don't pay me shit. So, hey, if you guys didn't already know that you support me, join me on Locals while I'm completely uncensored, unfiltered. The link, I put it in the live chat, but if not, it's also in the description below. And so what I usually do is I take a quick break because if I got to go to the ladies' room or whatever, and then I go to Locals and then we shoot the shit over there. And it's more, guys, also when you become a Locals member, you can post anytime. I always respond. Like the conversation continues over there. And you can post anything you want, recommended videos, whatever it is. Like it's like mi casa tu casa. But Courtney, I'm wondering if anybody wants to call in. You feel like taking some phone calls if anybody calls in?
Yeah, let's see what they got.
All right, guys. I am going to put taking calls. Hold on. Taking calls. Now, I'm not going to wait forever. All right? Because I do need a break. No, I could talk to you forever, Courtney.
It was
Obviously,
so
I
fun.
told myself to stop every time I started getting into something. I'm like, because when I was talking about the self-autonomy and all that, it was because the reparations, and that lit me up. And I'm like, oh shit, shut up. I could be here forever about the reparations because it's the opposite of empowerment.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, here's the thing. I've been done wrong. I feel like I was dealt like a shitty hand of cards, but at the same time, nobody owes me anything. I owe it to myself to get past whatever may have happened in the past and to create my own life and forget whatever may have happened before. All right, yeah, whatever. You did whatever you wanted to do. That's fine. And I'm going to go live my life happily and peacefully elsewhere. And oh well. There's no one owes me anything. You don't the government doesn't owe me anything. I don't want the government giving me anything either, by the
Oh,
way.
dude.
I don't know why anybody wants anything from the government. When have they ever given anything good? Ever?
Never. And I don't know if you know, but I was locked in a convent. My parents put me in a convent when I was 10 until I was about 14. And dude, I the word freedom to me means more. Love is my favorite word, and it's my favorite thing. Like I love loving, I love love, I love anything. Love. You know what I mean? Just love. I just love the
Yes.
feeling. But freedom is more. Like freedom. Don't tell me what to do. Don't you fucking lock me up. Like all these things. I'm so passionate about that shit that's why I started this channel. Where I just wanted, but then I've been shadow banned because I started.
Yeah,
I
of course.
they ain't got the balls to say it, and I thought maybe even I'm sure you've seen a lot of other channels, content creators that I've done it myself where we'll kind of change the word like jab instead of in order for us not to get shadow banned or blocked or visibility. I just want to connect with people. I just want to be like, I can't be the only one. Mathematically, it's an improbability. I'm sure there's a lot of people like us. And they're not finding us for several reasons. And the bots, they influence all that shit. Matter of fact, you've been getting more views on your regular videos than me, and you just started.
It's kind of, I mean, I do say, I'm going to say something. I don't know if I should admit this.
Say it.
YouTube. I did the demographics survey.
Oh, I never done that.
Oh, so I told them that I'm mixed race, was just technically true because I'm mixed European and Native American, and that I'm not sure what my gender is because I don't know what they define a woman as, and so because of that, I don't know what I am. And I think
I'm gonna copy you.
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, like, all of that is technically true, and so I think that I think that might be a factor in like pushing me through the algorithm.
I never, when they asked me to do the survey, I'm like, fuck you. I just don't do it. I didn't even look at it.
Yeah, I would say try it out, see what happens.
I didn't think that would help.
I actually there's one person that inspired me to do that. Her name's Danny On. She's a lawyer, and I think her channel is called Danny On. It's AHN, Danny On Direct, and she's white and she is a Republican in Utah, and she's very vocal about her opinions. And she was like, "Gosh, I couldn't get anybody to like even notice that I was streaming." She had like 10,000 subscribers, and she's like, "I just don't understand." Like, then she's like, then I did that survey, and she did pretty much the same thing. She did what I did. And she's like, well, you wouldn't believe. I mean, I am just getting, numbers are jumping. And so I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I'll have to do that myself.
Thank you for telling me this.
Yeah, it's because part of it, like, because I'm like, this is kind of wild to me to think, I've looked at other people's channels who actively streaming much longer than me, where they don't have the same amount of concurrent viewers that I'll get, or they might have, like, I'll end up having over 200 views on a stream, and they might stream that same day and they'll get maybe 50, if that. And I'm like, this is crazy because they've been doing this so much longer than I have. You think that they'd be like building a community. I'm like, I think that the part of it is they're they have an opinion that YouTube doesn't like. Now it helps though, that I do already have kind of a built-in little circle of friends, and so joining people like Chrissy Mayer, Keanu Thompson. Oh, my gosh, when I was on Zia's channel, that was a huge boost. People were like, "What? We love you!" So like, there's that too. Like, joining people on their streams is always really helpful. I'm like, if you want to send me the link, I'll crash my car on my way home just to hurry up and get there on time.
No, you're so good. You're so professional. I mean, like, you're such a pleasure. And not only that, you've been supporting me, or I'll see you like a post on my X, and I don't get also traction. I finally paid for the subscription just because before I could stream to X, no problem. And then they said, oh, from now on, a few months ago, from now on, you have to be a subscriber in order to, and I'm like, well, fuck, I've done it this long, and I don't want to pay it just because I'm just like, dude, I'm giving you content. Why don't you pay people like us that were creating content? Like, and you don't even put me out there. I'm not getting any visibility on X. And
that's something on X that I think is really actually frustrating.
It is.
If I'm like, if you have, 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers, 40,000 followers, your post shouldn't go to just 9 people, right?
Right.
It should. If I'm following you, I'm pissed that I'm not seeing your posts in my feed because I followed you for a reason. The only time that's going to be, I don't want to see it is if I mute your channel or your page. And I highly doubt if you have thousands of followers that 98% of them muted you, right? So like, that's actually something that's really infuriating, is that it's not, oh, well, if I posted something, it just needs to go out to all, at least if I am following somebody, put it in my feed. Hello.
Right. Yeah, it's like I'm not getting any visibility. And then one of the reasons that they said I should pay for the subscription is because they guaranteed that I was going to get more, not necessarily views, but people would find me, right? See me. One thing is if you don't like my content, but the other thing is it's not even, and I paid and it's not doing shit. Not at all.
Oh
and
my gosh.
that guy, Ian Carroll, right? I'm sure you've seen
yes.
him. He's like,
oh yeah.
So I get it.
Oh yeah.
He did produce a lot of content, good content that people are very interested in. And I'm like, I get it. But like, I don't know. I don't really have the time to sit there. I do the rabbit holes for myself, just for me to know what's going on. But I don't make a video of it. I'm like, that's a lot more work. Anyway, praise to him. But at the same time, I still think that there's a lot of people that I would want to see that I'm sure I'm not seeing. Like you said.
Yeah.
It's like, because a lot of them, there's one that always pops in my feed. I can't stand the dude. I think he works for Elon. And he's always doing the X post like, what do you see in this picture?
Oh,
and he'll have like hundreds of thousands of views. And even I'll read the comments, and the comments like, dude, this shtick has got to go. Like and it's true. Because you almost give yourself a headache going, am I missing something here? Because you're like, what if? And then you realize he does it all the time. And my thing is, I didn't click hide these posts from me, but I don't follow him. And yet I see him 20 times every time I go on X.
Oh man, this is one thing on X that this is what I do, is if I see something that is just not correct in the slightest, I will not engage unless it already has a community note on it, because then I know that they're not getting paid for it. But I don't engage because I don't want it going through the algorithm for other people, and so I just immediately request a community note. If it already has one, I will just rate it as useful. Or if it's one of those, what do you see? Or guys, is this true? Or whatever. I will just mute the account. I'm like, no, you know what? We all just need to revolt against these people because they're being, it's stupid. What do you notice? I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I notice? An idiot who doesn't know how to create their own content.
But yet he's getting all these views, interaction. Who's putting him out there? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't even interact with this content, but yet it's always there. Like I'm like a fucking pest. I can't get rid of him. unless I block them, right? But I'm not trying to block people. I'm not trying to like, hey, I don't care. I don't want to see it. So I should click the hide, but I keep it. I don't hide it because I want to know what is working on X. Like what works, what
There's
doesn't work.
that. Yeah. I mean, at the very least, instead of like blocking or muting the account, like I had to mute Pearl Davis because my God, that woman is a no. But stuff like that, like, yeah, I'll tell the algorithm, this, I'm not interested in this post because I don't want it to keep flooding my feed. But it is
Yeah.
good to know. It might even help, honestly, just to have a sock account for that kind of stuff, just to see like what's working on X. But then you can have your own account that like you actually see what you want to see. But that would also take that might end up taking a lot of effort too. But
Everything.
yeah, it's everybody, people who are just everyday users who aren't using it for content creation, mute those accounts or block them if you have to.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, just request community notes on all the ones like Dom Lucre. I can't stand him. I request community notes on his stuff all the time.
Me either. But yet, look how much he's like, and thanking everyone. Look at me. I've done something so good. You guys made me here, and it's true. And he's been on other people's platforms. Anyway, Chris. I don't know. I think I did, but just thanks again for the super chat. Appreciate that. But
We
also,
love you, Chris.
Push-ups. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Push-ups.
You know who it is? So they're here
yeah.
for you. Because then they wrote, or he, she, whatever. Did I miss the astrology? Chris like, nah.
You did not miss the astrology. We barely touched
a little bit.
Yeah, just a tiny smidge. So don't worry.
What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean? Like, did I miss the astrology? Like a prediction?
Well, I mean, he definitely has seen us both on Simpcast. He's Chrissy Mayer's $2 warrior is what we like to call him, because yeah, he likes to weigh in a lot on certain conversations, and so he'll super chat $2 each time, and he forks over quite a bit of money throughout the live stream, but it's always $2 at a time. But yeah, so he's aware that we're both well versed in of course you more so than myself, but in the astrology world. So I think maybe he's, I don't know. Push-ups, do you want to call in and ask some astrology questions?
Yeah. Do that. Good call, Courtney, because I was about to wrap it up. I'm like, nobody feels like talking. You know how sometimes we could be in a car or whatever. Like, I'll listen to podcasts while I'm in the supermarket with my headset. So I can imagine a lot of people are not in the position to make a call or not in the mood to call. That's cool. I gave you guys the opportunity. Don't come back to me later. Some people might be like, oh shit, I missed it. I know you were taking calls. If you have any questions for Courtney, for me, or you want any intel or input, you got something that should be shared with the world, push us. Just $2 warrior. Yes. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Push-ups, a $2 warrior. We love it. Oh my
God.
We love to see it.
Well, I'm going to wrap it up.
All right.
For now. Courtney, I would love to have you back.
Yes.
I know you're busy, but and whenever you ever want me to come on your show, I'm there. I don't know, because I don't think you do, or you haven't done guests yet. I think I haven't seen you with any guests.
I mean, I've had like at random, like last night, I sent Michaeline the link. I was like, if you want to come and have fun, and then she told Keanu that she's like, Keanu, you have to come on too. So I was like, all right, I guess you guys were.
I missed it. That was the one that was at midnight my time, because I saw it and I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss it because it was midnight and I didn't look at it.
Yeah, it was.
I should have looked.
Hey, you know what? It's there. It's a long one, but.
Is it?
As usual, I know it's like 3.5 hours. It's like, oh my gosh, we just keep going. I don't know when to stop, but
I don't.
But that's the thing. I mean, for me, I'm always so flexible. Like hey man, if it works better to have something during the day like a normal person, let's do one during the day like a normal person. If we want to do one late at night, let's do one late at night. Whatever. I mean, I'm here.
You're so
flexible like a gymnast.
You are so amazing, honestly. So amazing. But ever since I met you, I wanted to talk to you. And then and ever since I thought, oh, I'm going to reach out to Courtney and see if she'll come on my show one day. And I was just thinking, I'm going to do it. I didn't do it. And then whenever I would see you like a post on X, I was like, that's my girl. I knew it. I knew she was. And then like, and you didn't do it just one time. So I'm like, either she's smart as fuck and she's making sure that it's like, hey, I'm here, which is how you do it. And then I'm like, but at the same time, she doesn't know that I was thinking about her before she even liked my post. And the fact that you did that, I was just like, fucking love her. Like,
I love that.
and I would love to, I don't know, like audience, let me guys know whether live chat or later when you guys rewatch this, let me know what you guys think about Courtney. Obviously follow her, join her lives. I mean, she's doing a lot more lives than me, longer lives. I mean, most of my channel. Go ahead.
We're just a circus over there too. It's absolute mayhem.
I think it's fun. I think I like the energy. I really do. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know if the audience, if you like, if you think Courtney and I are a good couple, let me know.
Let we are.
Know. Look at this. Courtney is definitely smart as fuck.
I'm constantly like, I'm kind of an idiot. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I feel like that's actually usually when someone's like, I don't know, I'm not very well versed in this. I'm kind of, oh, well, Olga left. So it's my show now. But I feel like that is a sign, though, that somebody has a level of intelligence. Am I right? When they're not willing to just immediately tell everybody that they're the smart one.
Dude. I don't know if it cut off, but I don't do it on purpose, but somehow my finger will touch the mouse in a certain way that it'll take me off the live. And so my screen went black and I was like, oh shit. And I went to come back and you're still talking. I thought you'd be like, what happened?
And I was like, oh, well, she left. All right. This is my show now, guys. Like,
see, look, Chris is like, oops, she's back. So I'm sure everyone's like, oh, it's done. All right. Okay. I'm going to wrap it up. Guys, anyone watching, or again, even if you guys miss the live chat or the live locals that I'm going to be doing in a couple minutes over on the other side, it's because I'll later put a card up. But regardless, on locals, you can still comment and I will respond even if you missed the live. So just FYI.
Yes.
And show Courtney some love. Let her know if you came to her through me. Make sure you were like, I saw you on Olga's show. Like, let her know. Yes. I want to know. I want her to know that I know. All right, guys.
Let me know so I can let her know so that we all know.
So that you know that, oh my God. Who sang that song? When I dip, you dip, I dip. Oh, it was in my head all morning.
You put your hand up on my hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip.
Yeah. Who sang that song?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think was it a one-hit wonder?
Maybe.
Anybody
in the chat? Anybody in the chat know this? Yeah. I tried to tell my Google. I go, okay, Google. Play that song when I dip, you dip.
Freak Nasty.
That's what it is?
Yes, it was Freak Nasty.
Same here, my man. You're awesome. Thank you for subscribing. What's up? See, that's what I mean.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Did you watch the night? No. Oh, was it trying to play?
Responded. She's like on the other side of the building. What the fuck? They're so creepy. I never bought her, by the way. It was a gift. She's
oh my gosh.
What the fuck?
I mean, I have one of those. Wait, yeah,
she started playing a song.
Wait, what song is that? Is it?
It's a country song.
That's so funny.
Can you hear it though?
Yes, I can hear. I can hear like a.
Hey Google, shut the fuck up! Oh, now she's not gonna listen. Do you see what I mean? Hey Google, how the fuck? See, she's not listening to me now. That's how creepy this shit is. I'm unplugging you. You're getting unplugged.
You're getting thrown. You know what? I'm throwing you in the pool. All right. I'm making you a bath.
Now I gotta go.
Taking you down.
Wait, I gotta ask before I go. Gotta ask her about slapping milk.
So there was a nightlife that we did. that when I joined Chrissy and Keanu for Nightlife. I don't. Have you ever watched the Nightlife lives?
Yeah.
On Thursday? Yeah.
I've seen
So,
like one in England or something. I haven't seen all of them, but yeah.
Oh man, the Manchester ones are just
Manchester ones, yeah.
whoa.
Unbelievable.
There was one person I was like, man, she looks like a girl that was a big, like a Prodigy fan back in the early 2000s. Oh,
stop, please. He was real popular on TikTok recently.
Oh,
he screams. Wait,
I'm not well versed in the TikTok world.
Where he goes, please stop. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
It's
the milk slap.
So
the milk slap.
She's playing a song that is she's letting you know that she heard that you wanted her to stop, but she doesn't. She's not going to. She's like, oh, I know you said it, but
I believe. Okay, although I believe electronics are demonic, but I do believe in God, and I think what's happening right now is beyond me. And anyway, meaning I feel this is a sign, a good sign. Please stop. I think you're right. I think that's okay. Shut up. The milk, and then I'm gonna wrap it up.
So I was mentioning like the band Prodigy. You remember them, right? They
you kidding me?
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
oh yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. I'm the what's it? Remember that one? I'm the
feel the pressure. Come play my game. I'll test ya. Psychosomatic, addict, insane.
Yeah.
I am the fire starter. Twisted fire starter.
Yeah, fire starter.
And then they did smack my bitch up.
Yes,
change my bitch up. Smack my bitch up. Well, of course, as you know, I was like, oh yeah, she looks like somebody who was really into Prodigy back in the day. We did that. Chrissy immediately was like, oh yeah, and then we just derailed. And then at one point, actually throughout the night, something would come up regarding Prodigy, and we would just get back into it. And then at one point, Chrissy needed to pump her breasts because she is with child. Or I guess she's not with child. That would mean she's pregnant. She has a child. She has a baby.
Yes.
And so she's like, oh, look how much milk I pump, blah, blah, blah. And then someone was like, oh, instead of smack my bitch up, it's smack my milk up. And so I was like, oh yeah, change my pitch up, smack my bitch up. And just it was just delusional. That was the following Thursday after our first dating show. So the first dating show was July 31st. So this was like, what would that have been? I think it was August 1st was when that one aired. So if you're interested in watching this Smack My Milk Up
I'll look for it
episode. Yeah, so it was on, you can find it on Chrissy Mayer's channel, you can find it on Keanu Thompson's channel, and it is it's a few hours of
that was good.
Mayhem.
Chris is cracking me up. He's like, focus. And he's like, oh my God. All right. No, seriously, I'm focused. I almost called you fucking Brittany. I was going to say Brooke, and my brain says, no, it's Courtney. And then Brittany. See what I mean? The Courtney.
Well,
Brooke.
I mean,
I'm dyslexic.
I do have a twin sister named Brittany. So there's that also.
What the fuck? Dude. See,
yeah, I
don't know why I'm so shocked, because my friends are used to it. They're like, there's the psychic shit. There's like, but I'm still always perplexed because I don't try. It just fucking
right. It just kind of hits you. And yeah, what might seem as like a slip up here or whatever. It's like, actually, no, I think your brain was picking up on something. You were picking up on something, and we're trying to like fight it off because. Yeah.
Next time, if you want to know, one of the craziest psychic moments I had was a man who I was dating, and remind me next time so I could, because I want to tell you in detail. But I had predicted that he, and not only did he, that day that I said it, I said how many times? And he fucking turned his fucking face turned into a ghost. But I'll tell you the whole story because he invited me for lunch. It's a whole kind of like a little story. And that's crazy because that's why people are always kind of like freaked out. Like, because even if they think they're hiding something from me, if I meant to see it or hear it or whatever, it's happening. And I have a choice to just shut my mouth. That's the thing. I just learned to shut my mouth.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. Yeah. People, when they shake my hand, if they've done anything evil, and I can see exactly what they did. And so it's so bizarre because I'll see it like a flash, just like kind of the way they show in movies when someone's having a flashback. It's literally like that. Like I see the video, I see the actual scene, everything. And it's just, sometimes you just want to believe it's just in your head that, but then I'll say it and then they're like, and I'm like, fuck. Because for good things, I want to see the good things.
Yeah.
Which I do. I do see the good things too. I do.
Yeah. But it's
anyway.
It's those bad things that you're like, oh God, oh no.
Right. Like, and when I walk down the street, because I live in the city, and when I walk down the street, obviously you don't want to bump into people, but I specifically don't like them to brush on me because I will, especially if they're evil or if they've done SA or anything like that, I'll feel it and it's horrible for me. It's like,
oh yeah,
I start feeling like I'm choking or, you know, get what I mean? And so, but yet I'm a hugger. So, but I don't hug strangers on the street, right? But again, speaking of which, I got some phone calls I got to make. And anyway, that's my thing that I'm not here. I could be here another half hour, but I need to go make
we
some
got
phone
things
calls.
to do.
Much love. Again, I almost called you Brittany.
Thank you.
Much love, Courtney. Thank you for coming on. It was
Thank
great
you so much, Olga. It was amazing.
No, seriously. If I'm going to be a fan, it'll be your fan before I'm a Trump fan.
My God.
I'm just saying. Like, I have to feel a true connection with someone for me to be like a fan. You know what I mean? Like groupie or fan.
Yeah.
Chrissy makes me feel this way too. She does.
Oh man, I'm like a super fangirl for her. I love her.
She's so
much.
good. I mean, I just know she's not a sellout. I know she's a good person, not just funny, like not just the fact that she's a good comedian. I like her comedy. It's as a person. Did you hear that? Was that you? Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
Did you hear
what
that?
happened?
Dun. Did anybody hear that? Oh, who knows?
I don't know. Like
I'll get back to you. I'll see you later on the replay. All right. Much love, Courtney. Honestly, have a great day. Thank you for coming. Guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for all your love and support. Smash that like button. And
yes, smash the like button.
Until next time. Much love. That's my thing. Because you never know. Today could be our last day. You never know. So much love.
Exactly. Much love.
Bye. See you later, Courtney.
Bye.